there's music, but then it's business, and that's how the money flows. There's up to like 30 ways of getting money from your song. So you just stated maybe about three.
I feel like I'm gonna learn something.
Back in the day when they were writing, classical music, there was sheet music. But now if you have the lyrics, they have it on t-shirts. Like how many times do you see lyrics on t-shirts and things like that?
You're telling me that if I were to print out t-shirts with my lyrics on them and then sell the t-shirts, not only do I get the revenue from the actual sale, but then I get back end royalties as well? If you don't copyright your song whatsoever and you have a producer that owns 50% of the composition, they could claim 100% on the back end?
I've seen it last week.
Wow.
It ended up pretty bad. He actually took the music down. I'm like, okay, let me look into it because there's databases where you can see the songs, and if anybody has registered it, you can see it. And he's done this with other artists who have no clue. If you didn't know there was a database to look it up, how would you be able to?
So what? I gotta help my people out that's watching. What's this database called?
So it's with ASCAP and BMI. They kind of combine their like just search engine. So it's called. I feel a sense of pushback when it comes to just learning the business side. I feel like as creatives, we want to stay in the music. We want to, write and rap and do all these things. But when it comes to, because we work on our emotions and passion, but when it comes to the business, it's very like stats and data and logistics. And so I feel like maybe that's why there's a pushback. But just how it says music business, there's music, but then it's business, and that's how the money flows.
Right.
So understanding that, that's how you're gonna get the money. And I feel like when I said about like the 9 to 5 artists, in which I see more of, it's like the media flaunts the big artists, the festival artists who got the money, who got the status, who got the ego. But it's like where are the artists who got the 9 to 5 jobs, who's putting food on the table, got to worry about the light bill, but still at the end of the day they still make music. How are they getting, up as far as their career?
I mean, I feel like the unfortunate side of that, personally, is that the typical artist would see, even if they were successful, would see an artist like that and be like, man, I'm not trying to do that. I'm trying to quit the
Mm,
9 to 5. You over here talking about you got a boss that you got to check in with. I'm trying to be the boss. But at the same time, these people that are trying to be a boss don't want to pay attention to the business side, which is the opposite of what a boss does.
exactly. I feel like you gotta pinpoint, is this a job that I want my kids to eat off of, or is this a hobby? Because if this is a hobby, we're gonna talk about two different things. But if this is an actual job that you want to make money from, I mean, everybody wants to quit their 9 to 5. Like, who the hell doesn't? But you gotta understand where the revenues and the royalties flow in order to, because you gotta understand like what is success to you. Because some people maybe they don't want to be high ups in the Kanye's, the Beyonce's. That's really high. But if you want to be this local artist who's doesn't need the 9 to 5, is sustainable with just their music career, that's fine. But those journeys just look different in understanding that.
How common do you think a local artist mindset is, as far as now that we have the internet where you can just globally, show everybody what you've been working on? How common do you think it is that somebody says, you know what, I just want to be locally known and that's it?
I've talked to a few artists or a lot of artists when it comes to like in the Orlando scene. I haven't heard one person say they want to be local. I hear a lot more of, touring and just becoming big, but I don't see a lot of direction. I don't see a lot of um sustainable goals, so like how they're gonna get to that level. I just hear a lot of I wanna be like this person, or I wanna be like this person. I don't really hear a lot of I wanna be this local person that everybody just pulls up, everybody know me, I got a solid fan base, they ride for me, they buy my merch, buy my tickets. I don't hear that enough, and I feel like more people should kind of fall into that because there's money involved. Like, if you sell a T-shirt for $25 and you bring like maybe 10 to 15 to it, like you're getting money in.
I guess that's where it comes with the balance of, yeah, you want to make money off of it, but it kind of goes back to that question you had: what is success to you? Because some people might say it's not really about the money. I want to survive, but I want to tour. I want to see the flashing lights. I want to have to get DoorDash all of my food and groceries because I can't go to Walmart no more. So I
Yeah.
feel like knowing yourself enough to be able to to see the difference for sure. Um, I like asking other people's perspective when it comes to what they're hearing from artists, because exactly what you said is what I've been hearing for years. So
Yeah.
no matter, it seems like no matter where people are coming from, I've talked to people on all sides of the country so far, and it seems like they all have that similar story. Like, I want to do this, that, and the third, but I haven't done any sort of research to even figure out how to get there. I haven't put together any sort of business plan for any investor to take this seriously.
What's funny about that, it's like I feel like this is the only industry where you hear that. If you wanted to be a pilot, you damn sure gotta know how to fly that plane. You're gonna have to research, you're gonna have to take the class, you're gonna have to get certified, you
Yep.
gotta do all the things. But when it comes to the music, it's like I mean, I can get by, posting my music here and there, getting some types of streams, but it's like you still gotta learn it. You gotta learn how it flows and how it works.
Let's pretend like we're trying to learn right now. The
Right.
the first few steps, I got the music. Let's pretend like the product side of the business is A1, just naturally talented artists. What then? I know nothing.
So I would start with, do you have a PRO, which stands for Performance Rights Organization? That's like the BMI, the ASCAP, CSEC. Those they collect the performance royalties. I would just start with getting certain accounts set up.
Okay.
Did this person already distribute their music, or they just plan to?
Yeah, so I want to talk to the artist that I guess has at least the fundamental knowledge of that. They have whatever distributor, DistroKid, CD Baby, whatever. They have ASCAP or BMI, CSAC, and let's say they're getting their mechanical royalties through the MLC. They know where they're supposed to get their money. Let's say from there, like, okay, I know the business, but do I really know the business just because I know where money's coming from?
So are you speaking of like they know they have these accounts set up and they've already got their music, they have a good product, a good, music. Um, I'm not sure. I feel like when it comes to like, what's their goal? Are they trying to be big? Are they trying to get a lot of fans right now? Are they trying to get seen more?
Mm. So it all comes back to what your goal is, what you
Yeah.
see as success. I feel like that's definitely really important to note because I think we could talk about 10 different topics and it would kind of come back to, well, it depends. It's very situational. What are they trying to do?
Right.
Um, well, elephant in the room, two big sides of business is marketing and sales. You don't hear, especially if they already have their PRO set up and they're getting money from their streams on DistroKid and all that. You don't really hear too many of them like, okay, any more accounts I need, any of that. They're kind of just like, okay, I need to get my music heard. I need to step up my marketing and sales. What kind of feedback would you give an artist in that case?
Well, don't quote me, but I believe there's up to like 30 ways of revenue as far as getting money from your song. So you just stated maybe about three. So
Please,
like what's
please tell me because I feel like I'm gonna learn something.
what's the rest of it? It's like how are you going to get this song to the next level or get it in front of somebody? Considering if you already have a fan base or maybe you're trying to get in front of more people. What I said before, like just I want to get more into sync because sync, streaming is fine and you already can probably see that those rates, nobody can live off of that. So, but when it comes to syncing, like getting contracts and brand deals with your actual song, get them placed on the commercials, get them placed on the video games. That's where the check is going to come in, the royalties are going to come in. Um, so I think just kind of pointing where you want to go and what that looks like. If you really like working out and that's your brand, if you don't try to get with Planet Fitness like Megan Thee Stallion did, like trying to get those types of deals, get that type of revenue in. Feel me?
No, I feel that. So sync deals is that one of the 30 ways? Is what you're saying?
So there's mechanical. Wait, there's critical performance, print, and synchronization. So I made a little song out of it, sorry. But with print, it used to be sheet music back in the day when they were writing, classical music. There was sheet music, but now it's if you have the lyrics, they have it on T-shirts. Like how many times do you see lyrics on T-shirts and things like that? Selling that. There's other
Okay,
things.
hold on. So, let's say I'm an artist. I have a song that is super popular. You're telling me that if I were to print out t-shirts with my lyrics on them and then sell the t-shirts, not only do I get the revenue from the actual sale, but then I get back end royalties as well? Is that what you're saying?
Don't quote me, but I believe so. I don't see why not. If you're the copyright owner of that thing, that work,
Right.
I don't see why not get the back end royalties of it. People are gonna want their money. So
How is there another way? Is that through PRO, like a PRO like ASCAP BMI, or where do you claim that?
as far as your composition or the print,
The print.
I believe that's more like a trademark. I gotta look more into that. I gotta look more into that. But as far as like the lyrics wise, I believe that would be composition and not be your performance.
That is crazy. And I think a lot of it is because I just skimmed through everything. It was like, oh, that won't apply to me. That won't apply to me. Okay, this. Oh yeah, I might get on radio. I might go perform at a live venue. So man,
As well as merch. I feel like that has to be a tapped in because there is. I feel like that if you leave the middleman out and you're getting direct sales, you're talking about some money. If people mess with you, they're gonna want to buy your merch. I'm a big Beehive fan. She tell me to go buy I don't know whatever else. I'm gonna go buy it. So and it's like that's how you get the money from direct sales.
so with merch and everything, me personally, I feel like it's always fallen a bit boring for me, if that makes sense. Like, man, I guess I'll get the t-shirt and the hat and the wristband and maybe a sweatshirt, whatever the case is. What kind of outside of the box merchandise have you seen personally?
Oh, you have to get creative too. Um, something. Oh, fans. So I'm a Beehive fan, so I'm gonna always use her as an example. But as far as the Renaissance, it was heavy in house, heavy in just the way the music is, and her lyrics was like fan me off, da 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 da. So if you're singing that and everybody got their fans out with your lyric on it, they're gonna be
Mm,
like, I got my fan. So just things like that. I mean, even hoodies or hats. That could be a part of your brand. What's his name? Chance the Rapper. He always get that hat on with number
with
three.
the three, yeah,
You best
yeah.
believe he's selling that. So it's always a part of your brand. What do you care about for others to care about?
And of course, you're talking about pushback with the business. That if I had to guess, just based on my own personal feelings, that would probably be the biggest pushback artists have. Man, I'm not trying to be salesy. I'm not trying to be no cringe. Like I need money with my hand out.
It comes to what's your goal? Like, are you trying to make money or are you trying to look cool?
Come on.
Because I'm not here to be on your team. If you try to look cool, the hell is that gonna get me?
What is
So
what does that look like when you have an artist that's just trying to look cool? Because it's hard to
uh,
look in the mirror and be like, damn, I'm trying to look cool right now. It's really hard. So what does that look like?
to me personally, now that I've graduated and I'm trying to get my feet wet when it comes to just working with clients and everything, um, I see that I will literally ask an artist. I'm like, I will do your catalog. I'll organize it for you. I'll find the codes for it, what accounts you need to be put on there, and they'd rather me post their music, making like some content or like a dance or whatever. They'd rather me do that than the catalog, which is crazy. Or just even getting your song on Music Match, and so that when somebody does look at your song, I get to read with it. Just having those things implemented to where it makes you look more professional, Having a publishing account makes you look more professional. Having an artist website looks more professional.
What's the importance of that? If we're talking to the typical 9 to 5 artist, why look professional? Why try to be like the queen bees?
Um, I mean, you don't have to be the queen bee to be professional. I think it sets you apart from so many of the competition. You know how many people are like dropping their songs a day? You gotta be separate from that. So if you have a solid brand and a solid like this person knows what they doing, I'm gonna go rock with them. Because then more brands gonna want to work with you. You know, you if you own your copyright to your music, people you're allowed to sell and distribute your work. So it's very important to conduct yourself as a business and conduct yourself professionally because there's a lot of unprofessionalism in this industry, unfortunately.
So I heard with copyright, what are you talking about? As soon as it gets uploaded, it's copywritten, right?
If you upload it to
Just
copyright.gov.
DistroKid. I put it out. I have an email where I emailed it to myself and it proved that I made it on this day. That's not enough?
Oh, okay. So I forgot what it's called, but I feel like a lot of people are like, oh, if you mail it to yourself, then you automatically have it. Okay, so copyright.gov, they're the official people that you register that with. So this is saying to the big dogs, this is my song. Now, if you email it to yourself, that is fine. You're putting it into a tangible work, so technically that is copyright. But making sure that you're owning your actual work with the people that if somebody steal your song, who are you gonna have to go up to?
Right.
Copyright.gov.
I got you. And does that cost money to do that?
It does cost money, but there's ways if you have more songs, you could do it in a group situation. So it's all about budgeting and where you find importance, because that's where you're gonna put your money towards. So
Okay, so let's think about hypothetical artists. We already know that the goal is super important. So let's say that their goal is to make at least 120,000 a year off of their music, and they want to do maybe tours regionally, but aren't too worried about that. They're actually open to diversifying their different revenue sources. So whether it's merch or selling out shows right there in the city or just getting streaming revenue, um, this artist doesn't have any copyrights though, and they don't have their name trademarked. Which one is more of a priority? Thinking
wait, is
that
that
the budget would play a factor. You could only choose one.
wait, you kind of gave me like a red flag, like,
I saw
wait,
it. I saw your face.
they don't have their music copyrighted?
Nope, no copyright. Their name isn't trademarked. Their logo isn't trademarked. Nothing is legally protected other than them just doing the email thing you talked about.
So if you're trying to be big and trying to go on tour, you're gonna have to get something copyrighted or like have your catalog copyrighted, like with your name and your ownership, because I'm assuming they're just not the only person making, are there producers or writers involved? Because that matters too, who gets a percentage. Because okay, say you didn't copyright it, but okay, that producer did. Now he owns it. He's collecting off of the MOC. He's collecting the publishing.
So if you don't copyright your song whatsoever, and you have a producer that owns 50% of the composition, they could claim 100% on the back end.
I've seen it last week.
Wow.
Literally, I was with my cousin. She's an artist, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna help you out with catalog. I'm just gonna audit it, see what you need to get done. One of her biggest songs, it was with a producer, and I'm like, okay, let me look into it because there's databases where you can see the songs, and if anybody has registered it, you can see it. And so I saw it. It was just his name. She was nowhere near. She wasn't on the MOC. She wasn't on the PROs. She wasn't on anything. Um, and it ended up. It was a lot because I didn't know if he was just either he didn't know how to do it or he was just playing like he didn't know how to do it. But it ended up pretty bad. He actually took the music down. So instead of actually registering it and doing it right, the pushback, he decided to take it down. So
Take down the entire song,
entire song.
even on her end. So
So
wow.
it was already put out. It was already released. It was
Uh huh.
on, Spotify, DSPs, and he took it down.
That's
So
crazy. So they had it set up like where he was a collaborator or something like that, where it showed up on both of their Spotify. I'm just trying to see how he was able to get it taken down from her Spotify profile.
So I believe she was the singer and he's like a more of like EDM, whatever. She was just like the singer on it. So maybe she was like the featured artist.
Mm,
Regardless, still the writer. She still had, some type of ownership on the song and
right.
it was on there. So and he's done this with different other artists who have no clue. If you didn't know there was a database to look it up, how would you be able to, even negotiate or navigate that? So
And I know that you probably have connections in the music business, different databases that the typical person might not have, even an artist. This database that you're talking about, do the everyday artists have access to this?
I have everybody can do exactly what I'm doing.
Okay. So there's no excuses.
No excuses. Uh, if if you didn't know, nobody told you, then you would have to either learn it yourself. But like I said, with 9 to 5, you're on the go. You're just trying to learn and try to just get it out there. But it's important.
So what I gotta help my people out that's watching. What's this database called?
So this database is called. So it's from the PRO. So it's with ASCAP and BMI. They kind of combine their like just search engine. So it's called SongView. Songview.com, and you can see, who's on the song, how much they get, what's their publishing. You can see it. They be telling on the people. They be telling on people. So you got to look it up.
Song View. I'm gonna definitely have to link that down in the show notes or something. I'll be honest, I've never heard of that, so I was helping myself too. Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't know you could look up any of that type. I know you could like look up like who the writers are and things like that, but yeah, as far as I was concerned, that was something that was behind some sort of invisible wall.
Right. So that's why I just stress like the importance of just getting an official lit sheet, just making sure that you know who you're in business with, who you're partnering with, because it's very important. It can get really nasty really quickly.